Welcome back everyone, it's Aric from Rare Candy, and today I am back showing off a couple of new Brilliant Stars decks in action. This is going to be the new Charizard VSTAR facing off against the new Stage 2 Torterra deck. So here in this video today you have yours truly. I'm going to be on the left playing the new Charizard VSTAR, and then we have Corey Meessemer, a buddy of mine. He is playing the new Torterra deck over there on the right. Now, I know what you guys are probably thinking, well, this is a fire deck playing against a grass deck. That doesn't seem too fair on paper. But actually, once you kind of look beneath the surface, I think this matchup is a bit more even than you might expect, just because Moltres actually can't hit some of these grass Pokemon for weakness, and Charizard does so much damage already that the weakness doesn't really matter too much. So I think actually this winds up being a much closer matchup than you might expect. Of course, Corey is playing a Stage 2 deck, so he is going to have to, worry about his deck bricking from time to time, like Stage 2 decks tend to do. But other than that, if both decks just set up kind of averagely, I think this should be pretty close. But looks like I'm going to go first, and you can see I'm leading with that Kricketune V. Great starter for the deck. I'm playing an Ultra Ball here as well, just trying to decide what I'm going to go for. And it looks like I'm debating about getting rid of some other cards. I'm not sure yet. I might be thinking about Crobat, just thinking, how far can I play down my hand for Crobat V? So that definitely could be an option. But I do have the Kricketune V in the active, so maybe that's not what I'm going for here. And it looks like I am eyeing down that brand new Entei V, so that might end up being what I decide to go with. But it looks like I am going to go for the Moltres, and I do like the Moltres. I think this is a very good card to sort of lead the game with, especially against a slower deck like Corey's that plays all these low HP basic Pokemon. But if you guys aren't familiar with the new Moltres, it's a new basic Pokemon, and it does 20 plus 70 more damage if it has any damage counters on it. And of course, the new Magma Basin Stadium card that we're getting in the set will allow it to be able to do that and be able to put on some quick early game pressure. But you can see here, Corey is going to be discarding a Rare Candy and a Marnie right out the gate with an Ultra Ball. Of course, that's going to be that very powerful new search item card that we're getting in Brilliant Stars that allows him to search his deck for any Pokemon that he wants. So it looks like he might be eyeing himself down a Turtwig. Definitely seems good. He wants to get a bunch of these Turtwigs into play ASAP. So we'll have to see what he's going to do beyond that. I did not get a good look at his hand. Okay, and there's just going to be a Marnie. Okay. So pretty decent supporter for him to open the game with, but let's see what he can draw into here. Okay, and he does find himself a Capture Energy as well, so that's really big. He's going to get himself down a Bibarel. And I imagine we'll see another Turtwig here. I forget what Pokemon he decided to go with. It looks like he might be eyeing down Cherubi. Yeah, I can't say I'm actually a big fan of this play. Like I see what he's doing. He's anticipating the active getting knocked out. But realistically, he's not going to need Charm, I think, till closer to turn 3 or 4. So I think at this point, he probably should have just been setting up more Turtwigs, because now he kind of played himself in a spot where if I have Boss and can take out one of his Turtwigs, having 2 Cherubi on the field feels awful. He wants no more than 1 in play at any given point. But here you can see, looks like I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. I'm playing Energy Search to grab a Fire Energy and discarding a Manaphy, probably to grab a Lumineon to get that Boss's orders. You guys could see I was getting very anxious trying to grab that. So yeah, I'm going to punish Corey very badly for that play on his last turn here. And even though I don't have Draw Supporter, I do have that Kricketune V in the active spot. It's a multi-price Pokemon we haven't seen too much of, but it has a really great ability. If it's your active, you can draw until you have 4 in your hand, or if it's on your bench, you can draw until you have 3. So Kricketune is still allowing me to see a few extra cards each turn, even though I am not playing Draw Supporters. So here it looks like I'm just trying to thin my deck a little bit, grabbing another Fire Energy out of the deck. Now, I did not get a good look at my hand, but I think there is a world where, yeah, I guess that's fine. I could have just held the Energy Search too. I don't think that would have been awful, because if I get an Energy off the prizes or my top deck, that might make playing down my hand to draw cards with Kricketune a little bit more difficult. So I think that's kind of like a minor misplay there, but I think I should have at least held the Energy Search for another turn. And here I'm not sure what we're discussing. Looks like I'm debating if I want the second Charizard, but I'm just going to hang on to it for the moment and knock out that Turtwig. So yeah, definitely punished Corey a little bit. But I will say, actually, in Corey's defense, though, this was actually the first day he had ever played this deck. He was nice enough to, come help me record this. So he's not quite as well versed with it, how it functions, as much as I am. So got to give him a little bit of a break there. And also, you know, these games are just for fun, guys. We're just testing here, so stakes are low. But it looks like Corey is grabbing... Okay, it looks like he grabbed the new Grotto card. That's going to be a very important card for this deck. It's going to be the Stage 1 form of Turtwig, and it has a great ability where every turn you can grab a grass Pokemon out of your deck. So that's going to be great, helping his deck get set up. So this turn, he definitely wants to find himself some more Turtwigs here. Looks like he's getting rid of a Bidoof and a Grass Energy. Okay, and it looks like he's going for that Bibarel. Bibarel is a brand new Stage 1 Pokemon we're getting in Brilliant Stars and allows you to draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. So kind of like the old Octillery from Breakthrough for any of you older players that might be watching. But it's definitely going to help keep his deck chugging along throughout the course of a game. Okay, now unfortunately he does not have another Turtwig. So things were happening a little bit fast there, but I think he might have actually burned his ability to grab that Cherim, if I'm not mistaken, at one point, and I think he definitely should have saved that to maybe have tried to grab a Turtwig instead, because again, he doesn't really need Cherim just yet at all. So if he gets bossed, that's definitely going to be, it's definitely going to feel bad for his deck, and that might even shut Corey out of the game if I'm just being honest. But either way, I am going to be able to take an additional prize card no matter what, just because this Moltres is hitting for 90. Well, let's see what I've got going on here. Looks like I'm just going to draw 3 cards with the Kricketune. Okay, and it looks like I'm just going to research that hand away. So Corey is safe here. He did not get bossed. So his Grotto is going to be able to stay alive this game. Or this turn, I should say. So I have a ton of cards in my hand. Gonna go for a Quick Ball. Could toss away another Fire Energy, but I already have a couple in there. So it looks like I'm going to toss away the Choice Belt. Definitely a card that's not going to be very useful for my deck in this particular matchup. So I might be just eyeing myself down another Moltres. That definitely could be an option. Yeah, it looks like that is what I'm going to go for. And that's kind of my game plan here is I just want to take as many cheap prizes as possible. Just because Moltres does such a great job at picking off some of these low HP Pokemon. So here it looks like I am going to use the Magma Basin. Of course, that is that very important new Stadium card. It's going to allow me to get a Fire Energy from my discard onto one of my benched Fire Pokemon, and they take 20 damage in the process. So both my Moltres are powered up, ready to go. And here I'm just going to manually attach to Charizard VSTAR to get that powered up. So whenever Corey does evolve into a Torterra, I will have my VSTAR ready to go to deal with that. But here he's going to just confidently promote that Grotto. Going to mention a Turtwig here. He definitely wants to get another Turtwig. That's going to be very important. But luckily, he does have the Energy Accelerator online, and he does have the Bibarel as well. But here he's going to go for that ability on Grotto to grab, looks like right away, another Turtwig here. And there's going to be the Ordinary Rod. Let's see what he's going to grab back. Probably Turtwig and Energy. He's going to go for the Cherubi. Okay. I think that's valid. I don't know, I think I might have held off on that because you really only want one Chairman play. And at this point, I think I'm just going to be like picking off your Turtwigs and stuff like that. So that might have unnecessarily clunked up his deck. Okay, so let's see. And here we're just discussing the Choice Belt. I was asking Corey if he was like thinking about saving that maybe for whenever Charizard gets promoted, but here I think he said he was trying to dig for boss to be able to chase down something. So he is going to stay committed to that Choice Belt. Otherwise, I definitely would have let him take it back. Again, guys, we're just kind of playing for fun, just kind of testing here. So we might let each other take black, maybe some minor gameplay decisions here and there, just a heads up. But I think actually in the series, we didn't really do too much of that, if I remember right. But here he is playing that brand new support card. I believe it's Cynthia's Ambition. Very strong for these sort of single prize decks. You get to draw until you have 5 cards in your hand, but if one of your Pokemon was knocked out on your opponent's last turn, you draw until you have 8. So basically every turn, something on Corey's field is going to get knocked out, and Cynthia is going to be a fantastic supporter for him to be able to make use of. And he was able to bounce back. He got 3 Turtwigs into play, so that is going to allow him to probably get a couple Grottles into play. And then from there, he just needs to candy into a Torterra to have an attacker ready to go on that next turn. But here I'm going to evolve into another Charizard VSTAR. And looks like I am going to Ultra Ball away a Switch and a Choice Belt. Seems good. Just going to grab an Entei V, just to have a different potential attacker to go in with. Going to attach Return over there. And just use that Cricktoon to draw 4 cards. You can really see how good Cricktoon is in a deck like this. Cricktoon really pulling its weight here. And here I'm eyeing down that Magma Basin, trying to see what I want to accelerate. Could it accelerate one to my other Charizard? I don't hate that. So just in case Corey does try to go for some boss stall shenanigans, I'll only be 1 more attachment away from retreating. I do need to remember to put damage on the Charizard though. That is going to be important. Oh, I do remember. Later in this turn, you'll see. I remembered I used Magma Basin later on in this turn, but I forgot which one I used it onto. And I couldn't remember if I did it onto Charizard or Entei. And then I think I actually put the energy on the, the damage onto the Entei. I forgot which one. But luckily, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really change what Corey needs for a one-shot with his deck. So, yeah, it's a minor error on my part, but it really doesn't affect the game at all. But here I'm just going to promote this Charizard VSTAR, knock out this Torterra. Charizard, we're using its first attack here for 2 fire and a colorless, does 130 plus 100 more if it has any damage counters on it. Now, luckily, Torterra is weak to fire, so I don't really need the damage counters, so it's still just going to hit for 260. But yeah, you can see right there, I put the damage on Entei from that Magma Basin, but like I said, technically, if we're really getting technical here, it should be on that Charizard. But here, it looks like Corey's going to evolve into 2 Grottles. Definitely is good. He recognizes that he needs that rare candy play onto his active. And he needs either a Choice Belt or he needs to get his Empoleon into play, which is a card we have not seen in this matchup just yet. So here he is going to discard Manaphy with Ultra Ball, and looks like a Torterra as well. Okay. So let's see what he's going to go for. And okay, he does have his other Choice Belt in the deck, and the Empoleon is in there, so he does have 2 outs. But the Torterra, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it does 50 times the amount of evolution Pokemon you have in play. Right now, if he is able to power up this Torterra, he is going to be able to hit for 250, but that is going to be 30 shy of a knockout, which means he does need to cheat that Empoleon and play via its ability, or he does need that Choice Belt, like I already mentioned. So here he's going to accelerate energy with that Cherim onto his Turtwig. Use Ordinary Rod. I think I would like to see him not get the Grottle here if I had to pick. I think that might just clunk up his deck a little bit, because I think he has enough rare candies to last him throughout the course of a game. Like, actually, technically, he's never going to need Grottle for the rest of the game, because I only have I only have 3 prizes left, and he has 3 Turtwigs and Grottles already in play. Okay, but there's the rare candy Torterra, so that is big. He does have the other energy. Unfortunately, no sign of a Choice Belt, but he does have a Boss's Order, so he will be able to still knock out something on the bench. So here, he is going to go for the boss. And I imagine we're going to see him knock out the Cricktoon here. I definitely think that's his best target. Or the Entei. I think either of those is fine. But here he is going to target down that Cricktoon. He saw how impactful that card has been for my deck at getting set up. So definitely a good choice on Corey's part. Even though he did whiff the KO on the Charizard, he still got 2 prizes, which is what he wanted for the turn. Now, next turn, well, we'll see what I'm going to do. But if I do choose to attack with Charizard, Corey's going to be in a bad spot because he's going to need Empoleon plus Choice Belt. No other way around it if he wants to take a knockout on the Charizard. So here you can see I have Boss's Orders in hand, and I was debating, do I just go in with Moltres and pick off something on the bench to try to get an easy prize, or do I just knock out this threat right here and force Corey to have, you know, the whole wombo combo that he needs to finish off this Charizard? Okay, so here I am going to use Magma Basin, putting that on the Charizard here. Okay, going to see a Quick Ball, probably just trying to play down my hand a little bit. Going to get rid of a Research, it appears. grabbing Charizard, and I think I have another Quick Ball in hand if I'm not mistaken. So I could end up just Quick Balling that away as well. Yeah, so gonna discard that Charizard, shuffle up, and I do have a Crobat. And here I'm gonna play Crobat, draw 5 cards. Okay, so I definitely have a lot of options. I have Raihan, but I don't have energy and discard. I did use that Magma Basin already, so I think I should have saved the Magma Basin here, because now I could have used Raihan. But here I'm just going to save this hand for the moment. Have the Raihan, have the boss's orders. And like I said, now Corey is kind of in a weird spot where he has to. He absolutely has to have the Empoleon and the Choice Belt. He has both in deck. Just he has to think about how he wants to do this. Probably just grabs a Torterra. I would imagine so. And what I actually might want to see from Corey as well, if he is going to play that Marnie, I kind of want to see him use his other Grottle to grab the Cherrim that's in his deck. And whenever he Marnies, that will go to the bottom of the deck and probably allow him a higher chance of being able to pull off his Empoleon play, if that's what it comes to. So there's going to be the Marnie. Let's see. Okay, he did get the Choice Belt. He has Ultra Ball as well. But he has to draw some more cards first here. Like, he has the Ultra Ball, but he needs to Ultra Ball away the Empoleon. That's kind of his issue. So let's see what he's going to opt to do here. He's going to opt to draw 2 from the Bibarel. Okay, but see, that Cherrim got into his hand, and that... Honestly, the Cherrim might have screwed him out of being able to take the return KO here. He's going to be... Let's see. Well, he might be 2 cards short of pulling off the whole combo. Here you can see he can search his deck to get that Empoleon. And basically the Empoleon, if it's in your discard pile and you have no cards in hand, you can put it onto your bench and draw 3. So that's a way of cheating an extra evolution in a play kind of, you know, quickly in a situation like this where you need that for its additional damage. Here you can see he's going to fail the Evolution Incense. I'm not sure what's going on here. And here, yeah, he's just going to scoop up. He sees the writing is on the wall. He needed that knockout to be able to win the game here. And you can see that Cherrim kind of coming back to bite him. Like I said, he should have thinned that out of deck. That way he could have just Marnied it to the bottom to increase his odds of hitting what he needed. But yeah, still a pretty close game. If Corey had, you know, stayed in it there and, you know, taken that knockout, maybe he still could have pulled that one out. I think that would have been a really close game. So he finally just whiffed an attack there. But it says the best out of 3 series, so let's see what we can make happen. We're going to go on to game 2 and get set up. And just a quick heads up too, guys, if you are curious about the deck lists that are being used here, I did full video deck profiles for both of these decks already. I'll go ahead and put links to those down below in the description for you to check out whenever you get done with this video as well. But let's see, Corey is going to choose to go first. He's going to Ultra Ball away an Evolution Incense and a Rare Candy, but I definitely want to see Corey remember to Evolution Incense and grab... Okay, yeah, and that's, I remember, that is what we were talking about here. He is going to Evolution Incense to grab that Empoleon. That way he can immediately put that into his discard pile and potentially be able to get that back out at a later point whenever he needs it. So you guys saw how important that Empoleon was going to be at the end of that last game. So let's see, he's going to Ultra Ball, going for another Turtwig. Definitely a good call. I want to see Corey get, you know, 3, you know, all 4 if possible Turtwigs into play, but I know going first, not being able to play a supporter, it's going to be hard to make that happen. But if he can get maybe 1 more, I would be happy. But he is just going to have to pass. Kind of a weak turn 1. He was not able to play a supporter to get set up, but now going second, the Charizard deck is actually in a good spot to be able to retaliate here because you guys can see I'm going straight away for that Moltres. If I'm able to get Magma Basin in play, power it up, and switch into Moltres, I can get a turn 1 KO on a Turtwig. And here right away, guys, you can see I'm going to slap down that Magma Basin, research, and let's see what we can make happen here. So I'm going to attach to the active, Energy Search. Am I going to grab an energy, or am I just going to search my deck a little bit? Fail it. Yeah, it looks like I am just going to fail it for the moment. So let's see what I have access to. Okay, yeah, I have a Crobat, so I can draw 3 more cards. And I hit an Air Balloon, so I am going to be able to get the knockout on this Turtwig. So very unfortunate for Corey here that I was able to draw into the switching card. But yeah, this is one of the strengths of the new Moltres, as you guys can see in the new Brilliant Star set. It does such a good job at just taking out some of these low HP basics like Turtwigs, or, you know, probably a little bit more notably Sobbles that we've seen so much of in recent months. And also it's a great way at softening up Pokemon VMAX for Charizard to come in and clean up knockouts with later. But here right out the gate, Corey is going to go for a Marnie. And here, I imagine he's probably really annoyed he has to evolve this active Grottle that more than likely is going to get knocked out. But let's see what he's going to go for. Okay, we see a Rescue Carrier in his hand, so he's probably going to play that down immediately and grab that Turtwig back. But his hand's not looking too good beyond that. But here, he does have a Grottle. Okay, so that will allow him to get another Turtwig into play. Definitely going to be important. Yeah, so Corey doing the right thing here, but let's see what else he has in his hand. I see an Ultra Ball, I think an Ordinary Rod, and a Marnie, if I'm not mistaken. And he is eyeing down that Empoleon, so there is a world where maybe he tries to pull that off. But I think that might be a little bit greedy. I think he has the Bibarel in hand and a Marnie, so I don't think he needs to get too greedy this turn. Okay, we see a boss there. Oh wait, maybe it's not a Marnie, maybe it's a boss's orders. So yeah, what I'd like to see here is just go for an Ultra Ball. Discard probably the... Well, actually, what he could do, if he Ultra Balls away boss and Bibarel, Ordinary Rods the Bibarel back in and grabs his Bidoof here, then he could use Empoleon actually to draw a couple more cards. And that actually might not be too bad. Yeah, and you can see Corey's checking his discard. He's like, huh, yeah, we could do that. This deck, I will say, only plays 1 boss's order, so it is a big deal if he does decide to discard it, but he is going to go for it, guys. He realizes he just needs to stabilize a little bit here. And there is going to be the Ordinary Rod, getting that Bibarel back in deck. So, yeah, I like what Corey's got going on here. Hopefully that Empoleon can draw him into something a little useful, maybe a support for next turn, and an energy attachment would be good. Maybe even another basic of some sort. So let's see if he's going to get off these 3 cards. So there's going to be that Empoleon coming onto the bench. And hey, that is actually pretty good. He has the Capture Energy. So let's see, he's going to go for the Cherubi here. So now he's basically set up his board in a way where if I target down the Turtwig on the bench, the potential Cherrim could still allow him to respond with a KO. But still passing with Grottle in the active is not the worst thing in the world, just because Moltres' attack only does 90 and does not apply weakness. Grottle has 100 HP, so I am going to need something like an Entei or a Charizard V or V-Star to be able to respond here. But there you can see I have the boss's orders, just going to target down that Turtwig right away here. And let's see what I'm going to go for. Going to Ultra Ball away. It looks like a Magma Basin and an Ultra Ball. Going for Kricketune V. You guys saw how much I used that in game 1. Definitely kind of the MVP almost of that last game there. So I want to get that down. And let's see what else I have in hand. Definitely wouldn't mind another energy attachment for sure. I also have a Lumineon, so I can save that for next turn. But I'm probably just going to draw 2 with the Kricketune. Okay, so unfortunately it doesn't do me too much good, but at least I can take a knockout on this Turtwig here, going down to 4 prizes. Now, Corey's in a weird spot because he can potentially respond, but... Okay, so I actually don't like this promotion because Corey had no ways at drawing cards in his hand. So he actually should have promoted the Empoleon, because he knew he was not going to be able to get off and attack this next turn. But let's see what he's going to opt to do. So now he has another Grottle in harm's way. And this kind of feels bad. So let's see what he's going to do. But I do think this was a bit of a misplay on Corey's part. And I think he just has to kind of save this hand for the moment. And not sure what's going on here. I think we might be talking about something. Did we switch the active for Empoleon? I'm wondering, because we're discussing something here. It's just unclear. Oh, I think it's what it was. I asked Corey, like, did you have like a way to draw cards or anything? And I think he said no. So I was like, oh, bro, you should have just promoted the Empoleon and forced me to knock it back out. And you can, in theory, be able to, you know, get it back out in the next turn. So we reversed that one. Again, guys, we're just kind of testing here. So I don't mind too much if Corey or even myself take back some minor little gameplay decisions like that. But yeah, he absolutely should have just promoted the Empoleon last turn. So we're fixing that, and I'm just going to go right away with that Luminion V. Going to grab a Boss's Orders. And now target down. Looks like the Bidoof, it looks like, is what I'm going after. I see that Corey doesn't have a great hand or anything. And if he top decks an Evolution Incense or an Ultra Ball or Bibarel, that will allow him to bail himself out. So I want to be able to get that thing out of play and sort of keep Corey locked in this awkward game state that he's stuck in right now. So this is the turn. I think he absolutely has to make something happen, or he's just going to be too far behind. I think he just has to promote the Grottle and just hope he top decks what he needs. And here you can see he does top deck the Ultra Ball. And that's rough, because he would have been able to search out something to discard with that Ultra Ball, thanks to Grottle's ability, and then get that Bibarel into play. So that is devastating. And at that point, guys, I think that's like basically all she wrote here. Like, I think the only thing that would maybe salvage this game for Corey is if he passes with Grottle in the active, and then I somehow can't power up Charizard V and have to just attack for 90 with Moltres. That's the only thing that could really save him in this instance, I think. But even still, at that point, he has a long road ahead of him. I think Corey, no matter what, I think he's one attack behind currently. I think he needed to have taken a KO on that last turn. Or I would have needed to have whiffed the boss. I think either one of those would have needed to have gone his way. So here he's just going to evolve. He kind of probably knows, hey, if this Torterra gets knocked out, I'm losing anyway, so I may as well just evolve in case of a Marnie or something like that. So it looks like I'm going to get down another Moltres. You guys can see how great Moltres has been in this matchup, and I'm just going to research. Definitely do not want to Marnie him at all here. But really, I need to activate Magma Basin, which I can do, and attach an energy for turn as well. Do I have that? That's the question. Currently, I actually don't. I'm going to need to... I don't think I do, at least. Okay, I have a Cramomatic, so I definitely could play that. That could find me exactly what I need here. So I think I go for the Cramomatic, discard the Choice Belt, and if I get heads, it rolled off screen, but I'm searching my deck, so I must have hit heads. That's an absolutely huge flip for the deck. Again, that was kind of Corey's last line of defense to have a shot in this game, was for me to not be able to power up this Charizard this turn. And then afterwards, on the next turn, Corey doesn't have nearly enough Pokemon in play to be able to respond and get a KO on this Charizard. So yeah, I'm just going to knock out the Torterra. And yeah, Corey's in a bad spot. It really doesn't matter what he promotes. He can promote the Empoleon and just stall, but he kind of realizes, you know, I realistically need to attack here. But yeah, he's just going to scoop it up. Unfortunately, kind of an anticlimactic, you know, game 2 here. A couple things definitely didn't go Corey's way, but nevertheless, I think game 1, despite a couple misplays from him, you still got to see the Torterra deck functioning how it needs to, and obviously the Charizard deck as well. But But I still hope you guys enjoyed the series. If you did, be sure to smack that like button. And as I mentioned earlier, deck profiles for both of these decks shown off today are going to be down below in the description. But if you guys want to show your support for the channel, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, where I've been posting a ton of Brilliant Stars content, or you can pick up some merch over at rarecandytcg.com, like the playmats you saw in this video today. Links to all that will be down below in the description, but as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.